I am Devashish Das, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science, Prerna College of Commerce, Nagpur. Our today's subject is programming in C++, and I am going to teach these lectures for class BCA semester 2. In this lecture, we will learn what is class, syntax to defining the class, creating object, data member and member functions, static data member and member functions, and access specifier. That is what is access specifier. Friends, C++ is a multi-paradigm programming language that supports object-oriented programming created in 1983 at Bell Laboratory. C++ is an extension of C programming language, and the programs written in C language can run in C++ compiler. The development of C++ actually began 4 years before its release in 1979. It did not start with the name C++. Its first name was C with classes. In the late part of 1983, C with classes was first used for AT&T's internal programming needs, and its name was changed to C++ later in the same year. So friends, C++ is the extension of the C programming language. Now, what is class? A class is a user-defined data type which has data member and the member functions. You can also say that class is a collection of the data member and the member functions which can be accessed and used by the creating the instance of that class. A class is like a blueprint of an object. A class, inside the class we can define some variables and the functions. When we declare some variable inside the class, they are called the data member, and when we declare or define some functions, user defined functions inside the class, they are called the member functions of the class. So whatever variable and functions, user defined functions are defined inside the class, they are called the data member and the member functions. Actually, inside the class, whatever variable we declare, they are called the member of that class. In the main functions, if we declare same variable, so they are called the general variable and using the particular return type. If we declare a variable inside the main functions like int a, so here a is an integer type of variable which is defined, means the memory space for the a variable will be allocated at the same time. But if we declare a variable inside the class, they are called the member of the class or the data member, means no memory space will be created at the same time for the data member or the member of a class. So that is the difference between the member of a class and the general variable. Now, if we take an example of the class, we can consider the class of cars. There may be many cars with different names and brand, but all of them will share some common properties like 4 wheels, speed limit, mileage, etc. And the car, here car is called the class, and wheels, speed limit, mileage, they are called the properties, or they are also called the data members, and brakes, increase speed, they are called the member functions. If we take another example to represent the class, for example cricket, we can say that cricket is a class. Now if cricket is the class, now bat, ball, stump, they are the properties of the cricket class. You can say that they are called the data member. Now bowling, batting, fielding, these concepts can be represented by the member functions. So you can say that batting, bowling and fielding, they will be called member functions. So now Data member and the member functions can be called by using the instance of that class. So here batsman, bowler, they are, and fielder also, they are treated as a instance of the class cricket. So using the batsman, you can call batting member functions, you can call bowling member functions, and so on. So here batsman, bowler or fielder, they are called the instance of the class. So these are the some real example to explain the class. Now that is the syntax to defining the class. A class is defined in C++ using keyword class followed by the name of class name. The body of class is defined inside the curly brackets and terminated by a semicolon at the end. Inside the curly braces, you can declare or define the number of the data members and the member functions. Now creating object. Now what is an object? The object means it is an instance of a class. It is a self-contained abstraction of an item. When a class is defined, only the specifications for the object is defined. No memory or the storage is allocated. To use the data and access functions defined in the class, you need to create of the object. That means if you want to access the data member and the member functions from the outside of the class, first we have to create the object of the class. What is an object? An object is a self-contained abstractions of an item. An item may be any record. An object includes all the data necessary to represent the item and the functions or methods that manipulate this data. In other words, an object is an instance of a class. It can be uniquely identified by its name. Once a class is declared, a variable can be created of that type by using the class name, and this variable is known as an object. And the syntax to create an object, that is the class name, first you have to write the class name, then blank space, then object name and semicolon. So class name, blank space, object name, semicolon, that is the syntax to create any object of a class. Now accessing data members. The data members, even also member functions of class can be accessed using the dot operator with the object. For example, if the name of object is A1 and you want to access the member functions with the name getData, then you will have to write A1 dot getData. That means the syntax to access the data member of a class is object name dot data member. Here object name, object means that is the instance of a class that you have to create, and data member which is declared inside the class. So object name dot data member name is the syntax to access any data member from the outside of the class. It may be from the another class, or it may be from the main functions. Here is an example to access that how the data members are accessed from the main functions or outside of the class. Here has include iostream.h, that is a header file. Here iostream.h is the header file, but has include iostream.h, that is called the preprocessor directive, and h is the extension of the header file. Now class A, capital A, that is the class name. So inside the class A, we declare two different variable but data member, that is the A and B. These are declared inside the class name. That's why they are called the member of the class. They are also called the data member, and in C++ they are also called the instance variable. Here small a and small b, they are called the instance variable. Why they are called the instance variable? They are called instance variable because if we want to access those a and b variable from the outside of the class A or from the main functions, first we have to create an object of the class A, and then we can access those data member small a and small b using the object of that class, and that's why that they are called the instance variable. Now A and B, they are called the data member, and inside the main functions first we create an object of the class A, that is small x. Now we assign two values 100 and 200 to the A and B variable, but they access using the object x. So x dot A equal to 100 and x dot B equal to 200, and now we display the value of the small a and small b using also the object of the x. So here cout a equal to x dot a, here x dot a is used to access the value of the a variable, because we are accessing them from the outside of the class A. So when we execute that program, the output will be display capital A equal to 100 and B equal to 200. In the same way, accessing member functions, we have already seen that what is member functions. So whatever user defined functions we define or declare inside the class, they are called the member functions. Now how we can access those member functions from the outside of the class? Here also the process is same. The syntax to access member functions of a class is object name dot function name. If we pass any actual arguments, so you have to also pass when we access those particular functions. So the syntax is object name dot function name, and within parentheses we have to pass actual arguments. Now the member functions can be defined into two places in C++. We can define member functions in two different places. One is inside the class definition, another is the outside of the class definition. Now inside the class definition, here we can declare and define same functions name. Outside the class for the outside of the class definition, first we have to declare the function inside the class, and then we can define them outside of the class. Now first, member functions defined inside the class definition. In this case, the member functions is defined inside the class, where the member functions is declared. When a function is defined inside a class, then it is treated as inline function. Thus, all the characteristics and the features of the inline function must be followed here. In the same way, we can nesting of member functions or functions within functions. As we know, every member functions of a class can be called only by an object of that class using a dot operator. However, there is an exception to this. A member functions can be called by using its name inside another member function of the same class, and this procedure is known as nesting of member functions. So that is the example where we define member functions inside the class. Here also same, inside the class capital A we define two data members small a and small b, and two member functions get data and put data. Here get data member function, inside the get data member functions we just take input values for the a and b, and inside the put data member function we just display the value of the a and b. So get data and put data functions are defined inside the class capital A. Now when we are going to access those get data and put data functions from the main functions, first here we create an object of the class A, that is A1, and now A1 dot get data and A1 dot put data means here we call get data functions using the object of the capital A, that is A1 dot get data, and when we call A1 dot get data, a message will be displayed as output, that is enter the value of A and B, because inside the get data functions we mentioned there using the cout statement that when get data functions will be called, enter the value of A and B message will be displayed. After displaying the enter the value of A and B, you can insert two different values, integer values. Here we inserted 5 and 6. Now A1 dot put data, we access put data member functions using the object of class capital A, that is A1 dot put data, and when put data member functions will be called, output will be displayed. The value of the capital value of the A and the B will be displayed, and in this program the output is A equal to 5 and B equal to 6 will be displayed. So that is the example where member functions are defined inside the class. Here we repeat again that get data and put data both are called the member functions, and both are defined inside the class capital A. And when we are going to access those get data and put data functions from the main functions, to execute those get data and put data functions, first we create an object of the capital A, and then using those objects we can access the get data and the put data function. The next topic is the member functions defined outside of the class definition. Very important topic for the BCA second year semester 2 students. Here member functions that are declared inside the class but defined outside the class. Means for the member functions defined outside the class, there are two different parts. First we have to declare that particular functions inside the class, and then only we can define them outside of the class. And to define the member functions outside of the class, there are a particular syntax. The syntax is, first you have to write return type, then class name, scope resolutions operator, functions name, and whatever argument you pass here, and within the curly braces you can write the body of the functions, and that is the syntax to define the member functions outside of the class. Here scope resolutions operator is used for two different purposes. One, to access but to define the member functions outside of the class. Another thing, when local variable name and the global variable name is same, and we want to access the global variable inside the main functions, that time we can also use the scope resolution operator. So scope resolution operator is used for two different purposes. One is for to define the member functions outside of the class. Another is when the local variable and the global variable name is same. To access the global variable at the same time into the main functions, we can also use the scope resolutions operator. That is the example where we define member functions outside of the class. The same example we have already taken as example to define member functions inside the class. The same example we have also taken here also. In this example, inside the class A, we declare two data member A and B and two member functions, that is the get data and the put data. So here get data and put data member function just only declare, because semicolon is here after the function's name. So that's why get data and the put data functions is just declare. And now outside of the class, we define the get data functions first and then define the put data functions. When we define get data functions, the syntax is first void. Void is the return type of the get data functions. Capital A, it indicates the class name, scope resolutions operator, and the member functions name, that is the get data. And here also we use cout statement and cin statement to display a message. First enter the value of A and B, and then using the cin statement we can insert the value into the A and B variable. In the same way, we also define put data functions. Void capital A, scope resolution put data, and inside the put data member functions just we display the value of the A and B variable. And then in main functions, first we create an object of the class capital A, that is A1, and now A1 dot get data and A1 dot put data. These are the syntax, means we can access get data any member functions using the object and dot operator. So here A1 is the object, and using the dot operator, A1 dot get data and A1 dot put data is used to access the member functions from the outside of the class. So for that program also the output will be when the output will be displayed, first a message will be displayed, enter the value of a and b, then you have to insert two different values, and when whatever values you will insert, that will be displayed as a output. The next concept is the static data member. Before static data member, we have already seen there are also one type of member, they are called the instance member. They are also called the instance variable. Actually, inside the class in C++, we can define three different types of variable. One is called the instance variable, another is called the static variable, they are also called the class variable, and another is the local variable. When we define a variable inside the parenthesis of any functions, they are called the local variable. When we declare some variables as a data member of that class, simply they are called the instance variable, and when we define a variable using static keyword, they are called the static variable or static data member. It has certain special characteristics for static member variables. It is initialized to 0 when the first object of its class is created. Only one copy of that member is created for the entire class, and it's shared by all the objects of that class. It is visible only within the class, and its lifetime is the entire program. So that is the syntax to declare a static variable. Static, that is the keyword, data type, you can be mentioned here int, char, float, whatever, and static variable name like static int counter. Here static, that is the keyword to define a static variable, int, that is the return type or data type, and counter, that is the variable name. And the format for accessing the static variable is data type, class type, scope resolution operator, and then the static variable. Means int my class, that is the class name, scope resolution operator, count equal 10. So that is in that way we can access a static variable from the outside of the class. So that is the difference between the instance variable and the static variable. For the instance variable, to access the instance variable, first you have to create an object of that class, and using that object you can access the instance variable. But for the static variable, but for the class variable, you should be accessed them by using the class name only. So that means static variable or class variable can be accessed using the class name only. And that is the difference between the static member, but static data member, and the instance data member. Static member functions is also same. When a member functions is declared or defined using the static keyword, they are called the static member functions. And static member functions can be also called by using the class name only. So that is the example where we have seen the static data member and the static member functions. Here counter is a variable, but it is a static variable, because when we declare counter variable, it is declared by the static keyword. So that's why here counter is a static data member, and display functions, it is a simple member functions. So when we assign the value into the counter static member, so for, we have to access them by using the class name. Here int sample is the class name, scope resolutions counter equal to 100, and in that way we can call the static data member from the outside of the class. The rest of the program is defined in the same way. So that is these are the examples, these are the outputs of that previous example. Now is access specifier. It is also most important topic in C++. Access specifier means it is used to define the limitations or you can also say it is also used to specify the limit of any data member and the member functions inside the class, and that's why we used the access specifier concept. In C++, there are basically three different types of access specifier. First is the private, second is the public, and third is the protected. And private, public, and protected, these are the keywords which are used to define these three type of access specifiers. That is private, public, and protected. Now first is the private access specifiers. In the private access specifiers, when we define any data member or member functions using the private access specifier, we can only access those data member and the member functions from the same class only. That means this data member and member functions can be hid from the other classes. So that's why that type of concept is also called the data hiding. Means when we define or declare any data member and the member functions using the private access specifier, the limitations of those data member and the member functions will be fixed. That means we can only access those data member and member functions from the same class only where it is declared or defined. So here in this example, person is a class name. Inside the person class, we define a variable data member, that is the age, and a member function, that is the get. So both the data member and member functions are defined by using the private access specifier. That means we cannot access age data member and get member functions from the outside of the person class. So when we create an object of the person class outside of the class, that is P1, and when we are going to access age data member and get member functions, it cannot be accessed. There will be an error because here age and get member functions both are declared and defined using the private access specifier. That is the meaning of the private access specifier. In other words, if we not mention any access specifier inside the class in C++, the default access specifier will be private. That means if we don't mention any access specifier name, that is the private, public, or protected, by default access specifier will be treated by the C++ compiler is private. Next is the protected members. The access control of the protected members is similar to that of private members. That means it has also more significance in the inheritance. Basically, protected members but protected access specifiers are used for the concept of the inheritance. Here inheritance, it is also an object oriented concept. Inheritance is a mechanism where one class can be inherit into the another class, and you can also say one class can be derived from the another class. When a class is inherit, that is called the base class, and in which class it is inherited, that is called the derived class. If we define any data member and the member functions using the protected access specifier, we can access those data member and the member functions from the derived class only. That means if we define or declare any data member and the member functions using the protected access specifier in the base class, we can access those data member and member functions from the derived class only, not from the any other class. Here inside the class person, we declare age and get member functions using the protected access specifier, and when we create an object of the person class, that is P1, and using the P1 object when we want to access age and get, there will be also error because here person the P1 object is created just outside of the person class, not from the derived class, and that's why we cannot access the age data member and the get member functions from the outside of the class. We can access them only from the derived class. Next is the public members. Public, that means global. In C++, if we declare or define any data member and the member functions using the public access specifier, that means we can access those data member and the member functions from the anywhere of the programs. So all data members and functions declared in the public sections of the class can be accessed without any restriction from anywhere in the program. In this example, the age data member and get member functions are declared inside the public section by public access specifier. So that time we can access age data member and get member functions using the object of the person class from the anywhere of the programs. So that is the meaning of the public members. So if we want to display the visibility of the class members, we can see that when we used private access specifier, they can be only accessed from the own class, not from any other class. If we define any data member and member functions using the protected access specifier, they can be accessed from the own class and not from the any other class but from the derived class. And if we define any data member and the member functions using the public access specifier, we can access them from the own class and from any other class or from the anywhere of the program. So friends, now we want to conclude it here that class is a collections of data member and the member functions. Inside the class we can declare and define data member and the member functions. Data member and member functions can be two types. It can be the instance type or static type. That means we can define or declare data member and the member function as an instance data member or static data member, and as a instance member functions and the static member functions. And access specifier is used to mention the limit of data member and the member functions. That means from where they can be accessed, it can be defined by the access specifier. Thank you friends.